Our guest today is a proud Black African Jew and a passionate and eloquent advocate for the state of Israel and the Jewish people. Welcome to Dr. Shmuel Legesse.
Yeah, great to have me. Thank you so much.
Now, you were born in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia.
Yes,
You
sir.
lived for a long time in America, and you made Aliyah, where you now live in Jerusalem with your wife and 4 children. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yes. My name is Dr. Shmuel Legesse, originally from Ethiopia. I was born Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. And, as you know, I'm Black, Ethiopian-Israeli, Beta Israel, Ethiopian Jew. And it's funny, my travel is from Ethiopia, Addis Ababa to New York, from New York to Israel, like any other Jew. My story is the fulfillment of faith. And I'm married with 4 children, and I am a father, and I am Zionist and Jewish advocate. And blessed memory, and I am advocate of the teaching of Rabbi, Jonathan Sachs. I feel I have to voice to our generation, the method that he has for right now after October 7, bringing Jewish mosaic knowledge and understanding and love to all our people, and make a bridge between diaspora and Israel, and between non-Jewish and Israel, that the beautiness of Judaism and the beautiness of Israel.
And your main aim, your main mission is to defend and define Israel. What do you see as the way you're carrying out that mission?
Yeah, you see, Israeli diplomacy or communication to the world in the past or at the present, it's always defense. And what we do is we are always with a war. But Israel is more than war. We have to define ourselves. We have to give a definition who we are, to bring a bridge and connection to the others, which is to all nations. We have to be a light to the nation through definition.
So tell us exactly how, as an educator, a writer, you go about doing this. What do you do to get your message and Israel's message across?
See, it's so funny. Definition means like we are, today we must define that who we are, what we stand for as a mosaic value, and how we serve the humanity in the whole nation, and how we can be light, and what's our value as a people, our democracy, our nation, our people, our diversity. And you see me as a Black Jew, maybe the world, like all these people, our brothers, I can say Black Lives Matters, or South Africans, or Africans, or anyone. What we bring us is Jewish is as some kind of white colonization ideology or idea, or European colonizer. No, Judaism is, that's what I'm saying, is a definition. Judaism is a return home after 3,000, 2,000 years or exile. And that's what we have to present, with, telling the truth with love. And yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Israel's enemies and the Jewish people's enemies often portray us as apartheid, oppressors, occupiers. How do you counter that?
It's so funny. That is out of truth. That's not even true and false. Colonizer and or occupier is somebody like, let us take, we have history. We have history. The history is, the world history. You take the European take over African. They are not from there, and they were not from there. in that. But Israel is not that. We have 3,000 years history. Like my parent, my forefather, they pray to Jerusalem for 3,000 years from Africa to Jerusalem. Some of them, they even try to walk and get in Jerusalem. And now, tell me, I look like a colonizer? I am European colonizer, or I am European ideology student and learner to accomplish that idea? No. This is my forefathers, the fact and the truth that we have all historical evidence. As Ethiopian Jews, we are returning back home to Jerusalem, And this is return back home. It's coexist, no to colonize, to coexist and unite, and Jewish from Arab countries, Jewish from Iran, Jewish from Iraq, Jewish from Egypt, Jewish from Yemen, Jewish from all parts of the world, Jewish from Ethiopia, Jewish from all countries. We come together to establish our home that was. Now we return, and that is what it is. And we have to educate this with a fact and reality to our opponents. Some of them, they don't know even. They don't have that information. And it's not always we defend. We don't. Now we have to educate the world who we are.
And how do we do this? More than 2 years now after October the 7th, 2023, we see rising anti-Semitism and anti-Israel, anti-Zionism sentiments all over the world. Is there something we can do about this?
Yes, we can do. What we call it is moral diplomacy. What moral diplomacy is? Educating the truth and the fact. No, that's a new framework. That's what I learned throughout my education and from Rabbi Sachs. That's what moral diplomacy. That a combine of education and ethics and empathy. That's what we have as Jewish, as a Mosaic value and tradition. And we have to bring that to the world, not defend. You did that, we did this. No. We educate and ethics and moral empathy that we have within us. And that's called moral diplomacy. And that's what we have to turn our face, and our even international government, Israeli diplomacy, or the National Jewish Federation, or World Zionist, all this, we need to come up that kind of approach. It's called moral diplomacy. That is my, blessed his memory, Rabbi Lord Jonathan Sachs, that I learned from him that. And that's a wisdom, and we have to apply it. And that's true. He presented like Mosaic tradition and culture. And that is all laws in the whole world, even in America. That's what the whole law, even any part of the world, the law originated from 10 Commandments.
So you mentioned America. Let's get specific for a minute. And I know that you lived in New York for a long time before you made Aliyah. Mm-hmm. So you studied in Ethiopia and then went to America, mm-hmm. and then made Aliyah from New York.
Yes.
Next week we have a mayoral race in New York that mm-hmm. is getting a lot of attention. What is your view on that?
Honestly, I'm just sad. New York is my other home. Because, after Ethiopia, more than half of my life, I was in New York. I educate myself in New York. I work for the state in the government of New York in the court system as educator, as investigation officer. And in addition to that, now I know New York. That's my other home was. And I can't see it this way. New York is not a place for extremism. It has no place. New York it's a diverse community, like Israel. Anybody comes from anywhere. they have a place and home in New York. But the way how I see it now, if you see in Europe, most of European city mayors or administrators, somehow Europe, including, I can mention cities if that's needed, England and France and Paris, some of the mayors, even in most Great Britain cities, the mayors are coming from the origin of extremism. And that's why the politics of hate of Israel originated from that ideology comes. And why that extremism now coming to New York? I feel sad and I'm scared, to tell you the truth, because I don't want America and New York to change to that direction, because has no place in New York. New Yorker, we don't think and we don't see that as a place in there. And I don't know, I'm afraid, to tell you the truth. Hopefully, this educate all Jewish people in New York or outside of New York, in the US, educate us to come up with a different approach. It's not only Jewish people. I call my call is for non-Jewish people also. I tell you as New Yorker who work in New York State in the court system as investigation officer, New York has no place for extremism. It doesn't matter to the left or to the right. New York is a place for unity, loving kindness, and prosperity. And hopefully that will not happen in New York.
What is your view of President Trump and his plan that we're now seeing being implemented to end the Gaza war, bring the hostages back, and move forward with some kind of peace agreement in terms of expanding the Abraham Accords and a new Middle East, a new regime in Gaza?
Excellent question. Very timely question. For me, it's a heartbeat question. I don't know how to answer it. You see, the war. I met Ali a long time ago, and then I went out. I served in the Israeli police force, and I went to Hebrew University. But after again another long years, after for whatever years, with 4 young children and my wife, we made Aliyah in August of 2003. And on Simchat Torah 2003 in August, and it's like September, October in the same year, October, after a month and a half, whatever, October, we going to Simchat Torah. I am Zionist Orthodox, or Datilumi. I express myself in that way. And, daven 3 times a day, wear a kippah, and, go to the shul and according to Shabbat and all Hagim. Now, in that morning, when October 7 happens, I couldn't believe. People are telling me this. I can't believe anyone. Me and my family, my 4 kids and my wife, we were walking to the Beit Knesset for Simchat Torah. And that happened. And what I'm telling you is from then up to the present, my kids have a nightmare for every time, And one of the oldest, my kid, always even want to return back to New York because he said he don't want to hear again the siren. Now, my thing on, I'll bring you back to Honorable President Trump's plan. I said, amazing. That is a miracle of Israel. That is a miracle of Hashem. I really give honor and respect to this man, Donald Trump. He deserves honor and respect. And our Prime Minister and his advisor, Ron Rumor, just come back with this kind of whatever. For me, you see, in the Bible, Esther, during that time, in Nebuchadnezzar, in the king, he ordered all Jews to be killed in all region from India to Ethiopia, according to our, Ketuvim. Now, but this young woman, no one expect her. She became a salvation of her people through Mordechai. Now, I see, excuse me if I offend anyone, I see Donald Trump is like our Esther. I would say in that way. And, I give him honor and respect. And I'm really thankful to this plan. And this plan give us a bigger, also what makes me happy of this plan is it include other local governments and Arab nation. And we maybe hopefully will open us to develop some kind of diplomacy relationship, because it's not our peace. It is the peace of our neighbors too, the peace of the whole nation. For this reason, inclusiveness of the Abrahamic Accord is very smart and very, doable. And Israel, we should not miss this opportunity. And we have to work on together and with a good plan. That's what I said. This definition of diplomacy works right now. We have to apply the diplomacy with empathy, with education, and with social justice. We have to work on in this way now.
I'm looking at you, and you're dressed in your. You're from the ancient Bnei Israel,
Beta Israel.
Beta Israel.
Yes. Ethiopia. Ethiopian Jews. I am proud to wear this and to live like this, because that explains who I am as Ethiopian Jew. I'm a Jew. At the same time, I'm Ethiopian and Israeli. And when I wear that, you see, people forget. That's what I want to say to my South African or Black Lives Matter, for all these opposers. We, as Ethiopian Jew, we fought European colonizers. As a black Jew, our forefathers in Ethiopia fought Italian colonizers and went and become the only African nation that was not colonized by Western colonization, because our father, even as a Jew, they participate in that war of freedom as a black nation to be free, and shows that black people are able to be free by their own hand and power. And that's the pride. And during that time, on that war of freedom, when even I can say early in 1835 and 1941, after Menelik time, King Menelik, and again Rastafari, Haile Selassie time, during World War, Nazi and Italian. It's called fascist, or when they try to conquer Ethiopia, they win, and they use this flag, red, yellow, and green. They use that flag as their symbol of and that represent us. Last time when October 7 happened, what happened? One of Ethiopian. He's not a soldier. He is a civilian, has been in soldier, and he carried his rifle and ran miles and miles to fight. That is our forefather spirit. That's what we have, our forefather. As Ethiopian Jew, they told us, if someone came to take your women, your female women, and your mother, or your land, you give your life. And that's why you see all these Ethiopian soldiers or Ethiopian Israelis, we go with pride. One is our love for Jerusalem and Israel. Two is that's in our blood. Our forefather taught us. You know what? That's the biblical. Or we learn from the Torah. If you learn from the Bible, from the Torah, what happened? Reuben, what he did when Dinah was the neighbor Midians, whatever. When they did that to his sister in the Breshit, when you read it, when they did that to his sister, they, all the brothers, they make all this. Or make the circumcise whatever the neighbors, and then they defend, because that enemy, whatever, call it enemy or neighbor, whatever, attack their sister. We learned that from the Torah, and we try to apply it in life. And that's why this, most Western, they don't know it. The name Fano comes from. Fano means when you give yourself to your people, when you see, the evil one attack to your nation, your people, your family, you go out and defend. In that spirit, will become Fano. And that's also the same spirit they freed the Italians, our forefathers, in the spirit of Fano, which means when you see, you rebel, you go out with your, rifle, whatever, and defend the enemy. That comes from our forefathers. We learn it from the Bible, from the Torah, and we practice it. And we live it. And all Ethiopian, we have that in our blood. Ethiopian-Israeli, Ethiopian Jewish, whatever, even. That's what it is.
Now, are there still Jews or Falashmora in Ethiopia waiting to come to Israel?
Yes. Depending on who you ask, there is a lot of Jews still waiting to come to Israel. And hopefully, the Prime Minister, they are generous doing that. But sometimes with this war, with political divisions, there is a struggle. But I think they're working hard. But still, I'm challenging them. You see, I'm telling you.
If you could speak now to Prime Minister Netanyahu, what would you say to him?
Wow. I would say a few things. One is our approach for diplomacy need to be changed. And as I said, this is the model of the diplomacy for definition and the model of diplomacy of education need to be capped. And also the inclusiveness. Because now, if you see CNN or BBC or Fox News, when they present about Israel, they don't include the black Israel, the black Ethiopian Jewish in their picture. And that's why the world thinks always it's a white colonization. And we have to give, I would ask and challenge the Prime Minister office, in the Prime Minister's strategic office, give us a place, give us the mic, give us the, to speak and defend our people and our nation. Only not with rifle, also with diplomacy, and open us a door. That's one. Two, at the same time, because we are a social capital. Our diversity is asset and like capital to our nation, to the Jewish community, and bring whoever left Ethiopian Jewish, okay, there is question with what, but still the rabbinate are structure of conversion, and they can do that. I, as Ethiopian Jewish, I believe with conversion. If there is a doubt, it's cure la kumra. Why not? Every Jewish people now Ethiopian Jews, when they get married, sometimes they're required to do that. And if they didn't do it, and I, as a Zionist Orthodox Jewish, I support. Me and my family, we support. We did that for mitzvah. If it's another mitzvah, if that makes, my other Hashem happy or my other Jewish leader happy, why not? It doesn't harm me. It brings me even closer to Judaism and expose me to the things which I didn't know and I need to learn more. For this reason, life is education. And for this reason, I challenge the Prime Minister that to include us in public diplomacy and also bring whatever who is left in Ethiopia with generosity, just bring them up, please.
So one final word, Dr. Shmuel Legesse, your bottom line to our people watching us, people listening to us at the moment.
Yes. I would say I'm Israel High. We are here to live, and our old people who they said from river to the land will not happen. We are here to live and we will grow. And let's work together. Even our enemies, let's come together and speak. And I will invite, whoever listen at this time, this camera and this video, or South African government leaders who accuse us as a nation in a world
of genocide,
just invite us. We, black Jewish educator, diplomats, and are available for educational debate. Let's learn. Whatever you claim for, ask us as black brothers. Let's talk. And Black Lives Matters, at the same time, I bring invitation to you. Let's talk. Let's learn each other. Maybe there are things you don't know about us, but you're saying it because somebody, without showing us, they blame on us, and you take that and you fly with that. In some of, I'm telling you, I spoke Black Lives Matter advocate when he say with that plaque, say from river to the land. What that mean? You know, he tried to explain, but he doesn't even know what it is. He doesn't know that's a slogan from Hamas. You understand? And we have to educate. Let's learn. My final word is all these people's, brothers, our enemies, they consider themselves that way, but we see them as a brother because that's what Torah teaches, our value teaches, our Jewish value. Let us discuss. Let's do educational debate for South African government, Black Lives Matter fighters, or anyone who claim Israel as colonizer or apartheid state. Give us a chance to speak with you as a black who knows what colonization means, what apartheid means. Let's discuss and educate one another. Maybe I don't know something about you, about them. Teach me, and let's teach you too. That's it.
Dr. Shmuel Legesse, thank you so much for joining us in the JNS studio today.
Thank you so much for having me, Steve. You're always a blessing. Thank you again.